$200 to win $2,000 on next year's Vegas Video Network mini golf tournament on Scott Pritchard. No, I know Jacob won. No, that was last year. I'm talking about next year. No, I know that's a lot of money. It's about the jacket. Oh. Welcome to Let's Bet. I'm your host, Scott Pritchard. Let's Bet is about sports betting, sides, totals, money lines. I've been betting sports professionally for 30 years. I'm going to show you how I do it. Now, joining me, as always, a man who has been on a streak with a capital S. 3 weeks ago, this co-host won the Vegas Video Network first annual mini golf tournament, and he's been winning ever since. ATS against the spread. Please welcome Jacob Cannon.
You know, first off, I think I told this to one of the other hosts here at Vegas Video Network. Ric Flair said it a long time ago. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now, big guy, I'm the man. Also, I want to correct myself for last week. I said Grace King or Slick. It's Grace Jones who did I'm Not Perfect. And right now, I think I'm still 2-0.
2-0, keep on keeping on. I had a hard time recognizing you when I first came into the studio because you weren't wearing the jacket for the first time.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. I don't mind you being a little envious. You know, that Toastmasters thing you did, didn't you come in third place of like, I don't know, 2 billion Toastmasters or something? But on this two-man show, you're running second place?
How is that possible? Third best speaker on the planet, according to Toastmasters International, but yet in a two-man show, I'm second place. But good news, there's only one person between me and first place, and that's you. I'm coming after you today, big fan.
I hear you, big man, but you know what? If you're not the league dog, the view don't change.
That's a good point. I have no comeback for that. We'll be checking back with Jacob a little bit later on in the show to reach out to us. A couple of things that you can do. One, email us at letsbet@vegasvideonetwork.com. That's letsbet@vegasvideonetwork.com. We have a listener toll-free number, comment, question line, 866-966-4599. That's 866-966-4599. Now let's get started. We're in the middle of preseason football. Let's recap what took place 1 week ago. Jacob and I previewing, predicting the San Diego Chargers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Jacob on the side, he liked the Chargers +1, 20-7. Chargers won the game straight up. Phillip Rivers continues to play exceptionally well during the preseason. Let's hope that carries over into the regular season. My play last week on the total, 37.5 under. So Jacob and I both got there. We've given out 4 plays, ATS against the spread. 3 of the 4 have gotten there. Jacob 2-0. I'm 1-1. That was then. This is now. Saturday, big game, Jets, Giants in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It's a home game for both teams, although the Giants have been dialed in as the home team in this contest. The point spread, Jets, favored by 2.5. The total for this game is 37. Jacob, who do you like?
You know, I have to go a little deep on this one. The Giants lost Terrell Thomas and Prince Amukamara. The defense is a little banged up. And I think the Jets are going to come out with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. And that running game, I think, is going to be punishing. Starters will play deep. I'm going Jets, giving up the points.
To recap Jacob's play, he's taking the Jets as a small favorite, minus the 2.5 points. Before we get to my play, let's preview this game. First of all, the Jets, Jets. Preseason football, they've won 1, they've lost 1. Going into this contest now, keep in mind that all the money has come in on the Jets. The Giants opened a small favorite, but now they've announced the rotation for this game for the Jets. Not so much for the Giants, but for the Jets. The starters are going to play the entire first half and the first series in period number 3. The quarterback rotation, Mark Sanchez, that means he's going to be going right into the third quarter. You have a couple of backups then, namely Drew Willie is going to get into the game. And then if we take a look now at the weather forecast for this game, keep in mind Hurricane Irene is coming through. So they've moved the start time to 11 o'clock Las Vegas time Saturday morning. So please make note before you step up to the bet window, make sure the game hasn't already started. So the Jets are favored by 2.5 points. The total for this game is 37. We'll get to my play in just a moment. But the forecast for this game, compliments of Hurricane Irene, 60% chance of heavy thunderstorms, winds 20 to 30 miles an hour, and gusty. I feel like a weatherman all of a sudden. I'm starting to think that being a weatherman in Las Vegas would be considerably different than being a weatherman, say, back east in New York. I mean, we're talking 20 to 30 mile an hour winds and gusty. We're talking about 60% chance of heavy thunderstorms. But in Vegas, today, forecast, sunny and hot. Tomorrow, sunny and hot. 7-day extended forecast in Las Vegas, ditto. Let's talk about the New York Giants. They played 2 preseason football games at this point. They've won 1. They've lost 1. They opened, as I say, a small favorite in this contest, only to have all the money come in on the Jets. Now, the Giants, Eli Manning, will be followed by David Carr. Rosenfels is hurt, so he will not play. But they have a guy named Ryan, who was a backup to the backup to the backup. Now, Ryan, once you actually play a down in a regular season game, will acknowledge your last name. Now, I'm not dogging you. I'm just saying up until just a few weeks ago, I was only known as Scott. So I feel you, big fella. Now, let's talk. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my play. 37, I'm on the total. I like under 37 based on adverse weather. Now, the line is starting to move a little bit from 37, 36, a touch of 35.5. Shop, bet early, bet often, avoid the risk of being shut out. So Jacob, he likes the favorite, Jets minus 2.5. I'm under the 37. Pro football regular season just a couple, 3 weeks away. Exciting, exciting time. Let's talk about this time of year in Las Vegas. Every year we have football handicapping contests that go during the course of the regular season, the entire season, 17 weeks of action. Cantor Gaming, big high roller sports betting contest for pro football. $10,000 entry fee, and the format is you handicap 5 games ATS against the spread. Top dog will take 40 to 50%. The good news is 100% of the prize money will be given back based on the entry fee. So all the money for the entry fee will be reimbursed to the top. I don't know if they're giving money to the top 10 or the top 20, but obviously to make some serious bank, you need first, second, third, maybe fourth place. The Las Vegas Hilton Superbook contest, $1,500 entry fee. It's been around for a long, long time. They expect anywhere from 300 to 500 people. I can say that I've entered this contest 3 times. 2 of the 3 years I was in it, I finished in the top 10. Identical records both times I finished in the top 10. 51 wins, 34 losses, 61% winners against the spread. Now last year, the top dog, 52 wins. Now Steve Fezzik, a friend, professional sports bettor, unprecedented, unbelievable what he's done. He's won that contest not once but twice, 2 years back to back. It is so challenging because ultimately it always comes down to the very last week. It's always mathematical. I will say that Leroy's Sportsbook, they're having a contest this year, $250 entry fee, 17 weeks of action. The format is the same. Less entry fee, less payout, and a myriad of people will be in this contest. Now, Station Casinos, they're having a last man standing contest, and by that I mean you handicap 1 game every week until you lose. Once you lose, you're done. Now, you can buy 4 at $25 each, and they give you the 5th one for free. Now, we're going to take a quick station ID break. We'll come back with Let's Bet, answers your questions. Stay tuned.
This is David Ivey from Pub Crawl. It's funny because David from... You should just leave it on. Hi, I'm David Ivey from Pub Crawl, and you're watching the Vegas Video Network. And scene.
Welcome back to Let's Bet. I'm your host, Scott Pritchard. Great to have you with us alongside with our co-host, Jacob Cannon, executive producer making everything happen, Scott Whitney. It's time now for Let's Bet, answers your questions. This is where we take questions, comments off the listener line, 866-966-4599, and or the email, letsbet@vegasvideonetwork.com. Jacob, young man, what do we have?
First question is actually going to come from me, and I kind of want to know, why do the Sportsbook hold these contests, and kind of what's their reasoning behind holding some of these football contests?
Right, especially since they're giving away all the money back.
Yeah, I mean, especially since they're giving all the money back, how are they really making money off of this?
I think it's a great PR move, advertising, free advertising, if you will, when Cantor Gaming, again, $10,000 entry fee, they give cash back to the top winners. I think it's ingenious because what happens, the sportsbooks will do this, and on the surface, from the outside looking in, you might be thinking, gosh, they're giving everything back. Where's the rub, if you will? And the idea is they get They force people into the sports book on a weekly basis, hoping that maybe, hey, high rollers, maybe they'll drop money. My high roller friends don't do any other forms of gambling other than sports betting, but the idea is solid. Expose people to your blackjack, your poker, your slots, whatever it might be, not to mention the restaurants and shows and whatnot. So it's all about traffic, getting people into your sportsbook. Cantor Gaming, $10,000 entry fee. Las Vegas Hilton Superbook contest, same thing. And people are talking about this on national radio, national TV. So it's free advertising for places for like Cantor Gaming and or the Las Vegas Hilton Superbook contest. It's ingenious because it's great that they give all the money back, but it's ingenious because they force, again, 300 to 500 big limit sports bettors, if you will, ending up $1,500 at the Hilton. They're forced to be in there 17 consecutive weeks. What next, young man?
That's a great point. Thanks for explaining that. Frankie from Pottstown, PA, asking a little bit of a unique question, I should say. I won't call it odd. Who has been hot in baseball? I know we're talking football, but let's switch gears here. Frankie wants to know who has been hot in baseball recently.
Very nice. We're focused on football. We're going down the train track. Everything's right. Leave it to you to throw me a curveball. Let's talk some baseball. That's all right. I'll talk baseball. I can tell you no team in baseball has been hotter than the Milwaukee Brewers, 22-3 since they left San Francisco July 24th. But they've been killing the sports books. If you've been riding that wave, riding that streak, especially on the run line, because the Brewers have had very good pitching and they're hitting extremely well, the run line, -1.5, where you get a nice plus. 18 of those 22 wins have been by 2 runs or more. So the sports books have been taking a bath when it comes to the Milwaukee Brewers. 22-3 in their last 25 games. They have a 6-game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals. Jacob, do you have any other questions?
Last question from Tim. He just put from North Carolina. He didn't explain where. He wants to know, as we wrap it up, and another baseball question here actually, as we wrap up toward the pennant race, who do you see winning the World Series?
I'm going to go with who I said back in April when the season started. And I'm not saying that you can ever get any value with this team, but I said then, and I'll repeat now, I really feel the Philadelphia Phillies will win the World Series. They have home field. They have the best pitching staff in all of baseball, and they're proven. They've been there before. Last year they were going for their 3rd consecutive pennant, which hadn't been done since 1942, 43, 44 with the St. Louis Cardinals. Early on, the first 2-3 months of the season, they really struggled hitting the ball. But I think based on the fact they'll be at home in the pennant as well as the World Series, the fact that pitching rotation, top to bottom, outstanding, their bullpen solid, and I think their bats will continue to come around. Now, having said that, would I bet the Phillies to win the World Series? In a word, hell no. No value there. There is no value because they're even money or less at a lot of places to win the pennant. The bigger question might be, if not the Phillies, who would you bet based on value, based on getting a plus, based on making some money? Take a look at the Milwaukee Brewers. Well, the cat's kind of out of the bag. Now, July 24th, had you seen it before it happened, you certainly could have got a bigger, fatter price. But my money would be, or I would say, I think the Phillies will win the pennant, will win the World Series. But having said that, I mean, we're talking about 8 teams, 4 teams in the American League, 4 teams in the National League. 1 team will win. Everyone else will lose. Which brings me to my last point, the World Championship of Public Speaking. We were talking off air about 35,000 contestants preparing for 6 months. I'm grateful, happy, excited about taking 3rd in the world and being the only American who placed out of 3. But it's kind of a kick in the teeth for all these other very accomplished professional speakers that don't get recognized. I'd like to give a shout out to anyone and everyone who has the courage to step up on stage in front of strangers and motivate and inspire and hopefully impact lives. That's going to wrap up this edition of Let's Bet. I'm your host, Scott Pritchard, recognizing Jacob Cannon, our co-host, along with Scott Whitney, executive producer. To reach out to us, keep in mind, email us at letsbet@vegasvideonetwork.com. That's letsbet@vegasvideonetwork.com. Toll-free listener line, 866-966-4599, 866-966-4599. My website is pritchardspicks.com. That's pritchardspicks.com. Every Friday night, 6 to 10 Las Vegas time, KSHP Radio, AM 1400. All the great shows on the Vegas Video Network are rebroadcast. Now this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Red Rock Hotel Casino, 5-star mega resort casino. VegasInsider.com having a sports betting seminar. I'm one of the featured speakers talking about football betting. I'll be speaking Saturday and again Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. Check it out on the website, VegasInsider.com. Me, along with some other professional sports bettors, will be on hand. Looking forward to meeting with and talking with you. That's at Red Rock Hotel Casino in Las Vegas this weekend. For executive producer Scott Whitney, my co-host Jacob Cannon, I'm Scott Pritchard. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.